Fitness and health over 50, workouts, diet. Look, if you do it right, your body will respond. You'll get incredible results. The problem is most people do it wrong. They mess up and then they blame it on age. It's not age. It's how you're doing it. Today, we're going to talk about the right way to work out and eat to get great results if you're over 50 years old.
I looked ahead here. We're going to put together like a legit plan for people.
Let's give them a plan. I want people to leave with something they can actually practice.
Concrete.
That they can do themselves. Now, I want to start off by saying, and there's many studies on this. In fact, there's studies on 70 and 80-year-olds around this. Your body never loses the ability to build muscle and improve its fitness. Now, the difference is the potential, right? The max strength and fitness for a 70-year-old is going to be different than when they were 20. That's true. That being said, your body still adapts, and it's remarkable at how it adapts. There was a recent study with people in their 70s, and they built exceptional muscle and strength in a very short period of time. And the reason why I'm saying that is there are challenges as we age that if we apply exercise wrong, we don't respond. We get more aches and pains. It feels like we're just working out for no reason. This is not making me feel great. Why isn't this body fat coming off my body? And it has more to do with the methods and how you're applying them than it does your age. Yeah. It really does. And a majority of our clients back in the day when we used to train people.
This was it.
They were in this age group.
Yeah. Do you think the misconception out there is really because of a lot of the marketing for like, let's say like Aspercream or like Advil or, like they're always like highlighting these pain points of you're aging.
They scream, give up.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, give up, take this instead for all these aches and pains instead of like realizing there's still a lot of potential left for you to still build muscle and improve.
Yeah, I can't tell you how many clients I had in this age group in their 50s that they didn't really have a fitness lifestyle in the past. And then, after training with me and applying it the right way, this is so important, everybody. Like if you do it the right way with considerations, which we're going to talk about, because there are general considerations for people in this age group. If you do it right, you respond great. And many of these people would tell me, I'm in the best shape of my life. That's right. And I never thought this would happen.
There's another way to reframe this too, for that person who feels discouraged or, oh my God, I'm so out of shape or I've never lifted weights and this seems like it's so far away. The positive side of that is, man, anything we do is going to be a novel stimulus. And in the game of adaptation, that's a huge win for us. Like the fact that you haven't done anything, so I have to do very little to get your body moving in the right direction, which I think that's a very positive way to look at that. You look at it like, oh my God, I have this long mountain to climb. But it's like, hey, but what's cool is that you haven't done any of these movements. I'm going to teach you. And the body is going to right away start going, oh my God, this is new. This is different. And that is the game of novelty when you have been doing this for a really long time, it gets difficult. If you've been lifting for 20 years, one of the challenges of being consistent, yes, you may be healthier, stronger, a higher ceiling than that person, but also getting this novel stimulus and always having to kind of progressively overload the body to see more results versus the person who's deconditioned, out of shape, this is all new, scary. That's actually a really good thing because we're going to start seeing change relatively quick.
If you follow what we're about to say, so long as it's appropriate, because of course we're doing a general episode, this should be appropriate for about 80% of the people watching this. If you follow this, you're going to see really good results and you're going to feel good and it's not going to feel like you're beating the crap out of yourself. One of the big mistakes people make in all age groups when they start a workout is they over-apply everything, thinking that that's going to get them faster results. That's not true at all. Now, some of the considerations that we need to take when constructing a routine around somebody over the age of 50, well, one, joint issues and pain is a bigger consideration, okay? That's a fact. So we pick exercises or we pick movements where that becomes less of an issue. Okay, there's gonna be exercises in here that are effective, that give you great results, that build strength and muscle and speed up the metabolism and help balance out your hormones, that tend to be easier on the joints. And we picked exercises where we're not trading results for safety. Sometimes that's what happens, right? The best exercise is over here, but I have to really take away in order to make it safe, I'm also taking away its effectiveness. That's not necessarily true with a lot of movement. So we picked exercises that are safer, less likely to cause pain. Many people watching this, most people watching this, so long as you don't have major injuries, are going to be able to perform these movements and get phenomenal results. Here's another truth, by the way, as you get older. I did say that your ultimate potential definitely reduces as you get older. I don't think I need to make that case. However, this is also a fact. A fit 25-year-old is only this much different than an average 25-year-old. There's definitely a difference, but it's not a huge difference. When you're 50, 60, 70, and you're fit, the difference between you and your peers
Huge,
is
drastic,
massive. Yeah. It's massive. A 55-year-old that does things right, that exercises, that takes care of themselves in the right ways, that we're going to talk about, is so different from their 55-year-old peers who don't do these things. They almost appear to be in a different universe. And that's the thing that you need to consider here is when you start to do this and you start to become more fit, watch what happens over the course of 6 months and a year. Look at yourself versus your peers who aren't doing this, and they're going to be blown away.
A fit 55 to 60-year-old is in better health and condition than a average 30-year-old.
That's right.
I mean, that's
the evidence. That's the
crazy.
Data shows that.
Think about that. That you could be 55 years old or above and be healthier, fitter, stronger, better shape, all the markers than the average 30-year-old.
That's right.
And you can control that. And
That's right.
doing I love the exercises you picked. I looked at the stuff that you did. And it does really open it for everybody, right? You hear on this podcast a lot, we talk about the benefits of barbell back squats and barbell deadlifts and just how that's such a great movement, the biggest bang for your buck with it. But in reality, when you go back to our list of clients that we've all trained, there was a big percentage of them that I couldn't start there. Mm-hmm. We had to work to that. And sometimes it took years to even get to a place where we could do that. And so the plan that you put together right now looks more realistic to the average beginning program that I started a lot of people on before I could ever get them to ultimately those things.
Today's program giveaway is MAPS 40 Plus. If you want to win that, leave a comment below this video in the first 24 hours that we drop it. Subscribe to this channel, turn on notifications. If you win, we'll let you know in the comment section. We also have a sale. MAPS 15 is 50% off. Now, this isn't some random quick workout routine. It's a fully structured program that solves the #1 fitness problem, staying consistent. With MAPS 15, you'll get short 15-minute daily workouts that you can stick to. They build muscle, they burn body fat. It's just 15 minutes a day, and you can do them at home with minimal equipment, or if you want to use barbells and dumbbells, there's a version in that for those as well. Head over to mindpumpmedia.com/MAPS-15-minutes and use the code MUSCLE50 at checkout for the 50% off. Back to the show. Right, so the workout is going to be consist of 2 days of strength training, full body. Now, you might be thinking, is that enough? Yes. In fact, it's more than enough. 2 days a week of full body effective strength training. By the way, effective doesn't mean you beat the crap out of yourself either. Effective just means effective. 2 days a week in combination with daily activity, which we'll get to as well. But 2 days a week of structured strength training, full body, done properly, will build phenomenal muscle, will build phenomenal strength, will help your metabolism move in a faster position or place so you can burn more body fat. It's full body, 2 days a week. And if you're listening to this and you don't think it's enough, trust me, try it yourself. Try it for 60 days and see what happens. You'll get stronger on a regular basis, on a consistent basis following this program.
Yeah, I want to comment on something I'm sure you'd get around to saying, so I'm going to beat you to it, that because I know one of the questions that people get after we lay out the exercises and the kind of the program is, well, what weight do I choose? What do I do? Approach it with just practice. Mm-hmm. Do not overthink the amount of weight you need to do. And like that is that important. It's like, if we haven't been doing any of these movements, pick a very light and easy weight and just go practice the movement. Mm-hmm. Go get good at the movement. That, especially in those first couple months, is going to take you so far. If you're not doing any of these things and I start you off really light and easy, and it's really just go there and practice these movements, you're going to see so many benefits.
You're still going to build muscle.
Just from that. Mm-hmm. That's right. Just from that, without, because I know that's the next hurdle that people get is like, okay, got it. Here's the exercises. Well, how much weight do I do and how hard do I have to push? And it's like, don't think like that.
This is one of those situations too where, you pick the lighter weight, but also you can control your effort with that movement. And What I mean by that is really increasing your tension, your contraction of your muscle. You can intrinsically create a bit more effort and output that way, which is a safer way to do it, which then also increases your strength and then naturally will allow you to then pick a heavier load.
Right. So what it's going to look like. So here's some metrics for you. Number one, you should feel better at the end of the workout than you did in the beginning. Okay, so when you're doing this workout, if at the end of the workout you feel like you survived it, you feel like you beat yourself up, you went too hard, you should feel good. At the end of it, you should feel like, man, you know what? I feel energized. That means you had a good workout. Now, the workout will be challenging. You should challenge yourself, but don't go beyond challenging yourself. Pick weights that are kind of hard, but ones that allow you to, like Adam said, practice the movement and have good, perfect technique, okay? Both workouts are full body. We're going to go through day one first, and both workouts start with a lower body exercise. And typically what you do when you train full body is you start with the larger muscle groups and you move to the smaller muscle groups. Now, why is that? Well, one of the reasons is small muscle groups are involved often in the larger muscle group exercises. You don't want to fatigue them before you need to, number one. Number two, you want to do the harder exercise at the beginning when you have the most energy and end with the ones that require the least amount of energy. So let's start with day one. So day one, we're gonna do a leg exercise, and you're gonna start by pushing a sled. Pushing a sled is an exceptional way to build strength and muscle in the lower body. It's also simultaneously incredibly functional.
Yep.
It's one of the few lower body exercises that doesn't just involve the upper leg, but it involves the lower leg and the foot. You're extending all the way through. You're on the balls of your feet and you're pushing. There is no negative portion of the rep. So when you're lifting a weight, the positive portion would be me curling a weight. The negative is me lowering it with resistance. Lowering a weight causes more damage and soreness.
Yeah.
Pushing a
More
sled,
stress around the joint.
there is no negative. It's just pushing. So what you want to do is you want to get yourself a sled. Most gyms have them. Load it with some weight. You want to challenge yourself a little bit. And you want to push it for about 20 to 30 steps. That's how you do this exercise. And it's a great lower body exercise. And you want to do it for 3 sets, 3 rounds. By the way, in between each set, you should rest around 2 minutes, okay? You're not trying to go through every exercise one after another. This is strength training, not cardio training. We're trying to build muscle. The rest in between sets is what makes it strength training. It's what builds the muscle. If you don't rest, what you're gonna get is stamina, which is okay if that's what you want, but you're going to miss out on the muscle building, metabolism boosting, hormone balancing effects that strength training provides.
And to emphasize what Justin said, as you go through choosing the weight, again, don't overthink that. Choose a weight that's somewhat challenging, but what you can do is do long, slow strides to emphasize the intensity. Then you also get the extra benefits of really kind of challenging your mobility, priming yourself nice and slow and controlled. You can intensify it without adding more load to it. So don't overthink how much weight do I put on the sled. You can always slow it down and take longer, deeper strides. That's how I would approach this sled
push. So 3 sets of that. Next, we're going to move to a chest exercise. I chose incline dumbbell chest press. I like the incline because it puts the shoulders in a better position than a flat bench. A flat bench is fine as well. It's just a little bit more technical. Some people have issues with that, especially when they first start exercising. Mm-hmm. And laying flat on your back can be an issue for beginners sometimes. Sometimes laying on your back can cause issues where you need to get back up. Getting down with dumbbells can be difficult. Incline is a little easier. And so with an incline dumbbell chest press, you are working the shoulders, the triceps, and the chest. And again, you want to do 3 sets. Rep-wise, I think if the reps are anywhere between 8 to 15, we're perfectly fine. I don't care if it's 8, I don't care if it's 15, but keep it within that range. Lower than 8, higher than 15. Now we're moving out of what I would be considering effective at this point with the repetition.
And just so the audience knows, every single exercise that we talk about or describe today, you can go to the Mind Pump YouTube channel, put in Mind Pump and then the exercise, and you will see us teaching and performing this exercise.
That's
so
right.
If you need a video demonstration of what the form and technique looks like with coaching cues, it's on our YouTube channel. It's absolutely free. You literally would just put in Mind Pump and then the exercise that we are mentioning right now, and then you'll see the breakdown.
Well, I love that you picked the incline, especially because one of the biggest problems we see is this protraction of the shoulder. which causes, some pain there to occur. So to be able to naturally allow those gravity to kind of pull and set you in that better position with your shoulders, the incline bench is preferable for that.
Yes. Next up are cable rows. I love this exercise for everybody.
Staple.
Now with a cable row, you want to sit nice and tall. And what you want to imagine is you want to bring your shoulder blades together and down, right? You want to fight the urge to shrug your shoulders, and definitely don't let your shoulders roll forward. You're pulling the handle to your belly, squeezing the shoulders back and down. This is a posture exercise. It strengthens the muscles of the back, in particular the mid-back muscles. And people benefit greatly from this, especially people in this age group. This is a phenomenal. This will make you feel taller if you do this properly. You'll stand up and feel so good from doing this one. This episode brought to you by Masszymes, digestive enzymes that help break down proteins, fats, and carbs for better digestion and better nutrient absorption. Go to masszymes.com. That's masszymes.com/mindpump. Use the code MindPump10, get 10% off. Back to the show. Next up, standing shoulder dumbbell press. This is just standing straight up, taking a pair of dumbbells, pressing them up nice and tall, and bringing them down all the way. This is a shoulder and tricep exercise. And then we're going to finish off with some easier movements. Dumbbell curls, a tricep press down. I chose a press down because that tends to be easiest on the elbows. Sometimes overhead movements with triceps can cause people elbow pain. So pressing straight down, perfectly fine. And then you're going to do a plank. So a plank is where you hold yourself in this elevated position on your forearms, tuck your tailbone a little bit, and hold this for 20, 30, or 60 seconds. What we're trying to do here is build strength and stability in the core, which is going to help support your low back. And I chose a plank because it's a safer exercise for the low back for a lot of people.
I like that you're challenging the standing. To regress that though, just to be safe, if like there's any stress in the lower back and you don't know how to brace properly, you can always sit
and do the shoulder press.
Do the shoulder press that way. You can even kneel, which I would even prefer. Do a kneeling shoulder press.
And then the plank, although probably sounds like the most basic of all these movements, I would highly recommend watching the YouTube video that Sal teaches the plank on that YouTube channel, because I do think this is a commonly misdone exercise in the gym. You see people tend to arch their low back. And so we tend to coach with like this tucking of the tailbone, exaggerating that a little bit, because I think not only is it's safer, it's more proper, and it engages the core. So you're not resting the weight on the low back, which tends to be how most people do this exercise. So even though that seems basic, most people go, oh, I know what a plank is, and they just get down and do it. Watch that video.
Yeah. Next up, we have a deadlift, but I picked a trap bar deadlift. Way less potential strain on the low back. It's far less technical. It's easier to do, but it's still a deadlift. It's still a great deadlift exercise, and it's one that is exceptional at building the strength of the low back, the glutes, the hips, the hamstrings. A trap bar is just a bar that you stand inside of. Handles are at your side.
Nice neutral grip, which I always love.
Brace your core, stand up with it, put it down. Here's a mistake a lot of people make. They go up and down real fast. Bring it down to the floor, let it sit on the floor for a good second or two, pause, brace your core, come back up. That's how you do a rep, 3 sets.
Such a great entry-level hinge movement, right? There's no way we build a program that doesn't have some sort of a hinge in there. This is probably the safest entry-level place to take everybody from. And you can get really strong, tremendous benefit from it. And it is the natural regression to like a traditional type of a deadlift.
Right. Next up is a push-up. Now, of course, you can go on the floor and do push-ups. And if you can do push-ups that way, that's great. But a lot of you might not be able to. Elevate yourself. Elevate.
So top of a bench.
What this would look like is my hands are on a bench, or I can use a bar on a squat rack or a Smith machine. I can lift it up as much as I need to where I'm not bending over quite that much. And the reason why I like push-ups is it involves core stability. I got to brace my core while I do this. Very functional chest, shoulder, and tricep exercise.
This is actually my favorite way to use the Smith machine.
That's the same.
I prefer it actually to the bench because it's nice to get that like firm grip.
And you have all the levels. So I could take a client.
Yeah.
I mean, I could take a client who cannot. I mean, I've had clients so deconditioned that just pushing their body weight off the wall
That's right.
is challenging enough. So taking somebody on a Smith machine where they're, this angle and then here, and then you can progress them very nicely. And what a great way to show that client who couldn't do that progression to where they eventually can do a traditional push-up.
Right. Next up is a pull down. So this is a pull down machine, and you're going to just take a regular overhand grip. You don't want to go too wide. You want to go about shoulder width, so nothing crazy. And you're going to pull the bar down to your upper chest, stick your chest up, pull the shoulders down and back. This is a great back exercise. Too wide, you're probably going to feel it in your shoulders. I know you see a lot of bodybuilders do that. Not a bad exercise, but it requires more shoulder mobility. So you're literally going to take about a shoulder width grip on that. Next up, we're going to do what's called a rear fly. With the rear fly, you want to lay on an incline bench so it supports your chest, and you just take these dumbbells and you separate them out. This is going to work the back of the shoulders, and it's also going to work on some of your posture. Then we get to the easier exercises. Hammer curls, just like regular curls, except your hands stay neutral. And then you have a closer grip push-up. So you're going to go back to whatever bar you used, and rather than having your hands outside your shoulders, now put your hands about shoulder width. This is more of a tricep exercise.
You try and keep those elbows in close.
That's it. And then next up, we have a cable chop. This is great for rotation, strengthening the core. And it's literally, you just take a cable, stand with your feet together, and you want to use your body to rotate across the body. All of these, by the way, are 3 sets. All of these are 8 to 15 repetitions. And then finally, a standing calf raise for the calves. Most gyms have a calf raise machine, and if they don't, you can stand on a block and do them with just your body weight.
Love it.
This basic exercise, this basic workout that we just gave, if you're starting a workout, this right here will have you progressing for 6 months to a year. I mean, honestly, you don't have to change much. What's going to change is the amount of weight that you continue to use on each exercise. You can add more and more and more. It covers the entire body. And again, you want to feel better at the end of the workout than you did at first. The intensity will naturally progress as you become more fit. And you're going to see when it feels like...
Since we're talking about the workout portion, and I think this goes hand in hand with the activity, even though I know you have diet coming up next, I think it's important to talk about activity, because the very common question I get from the client who's super motivated right now is, what if I want to do more? What if I want to come to... This is where I'm going to encourage my client to walk. And typically what I want to know is like the baseline where they're currently at. So I love using any Apple Watch, Fitbit, Oura Ring, whatever tracker. It doesn't matter. Anything that you can get a cheap $4 on Amazon pedometer, but just get an idea of where our baseline steps are. And we're going to start. Now, I know you put as a target right out the gate to start for about 8,000. I think that's a great goal. Typically I just figure out where their baseline is and I add 2,000 every week. And that the goal is, hey, if you have more time, you have days you want to go to the gym more often or whatever, walk. This is where we're going to encourage more movement and activity right here. We don't need to necessarily do anything more strength training yet.
Walking is one of the best forms of daily activity. It results in very, very low risk of injury. It has tremendous health benefits. Generally speaking, 8,000 steps is what you want to aim for. 8,000 is where you'll get about 80% of the benefits that we see from daily activity. And I like measuring steps because it's just what you do throughout the day. So if you want, you can get on a treadmill and try to hit this. Or what I like to do with my clients is track your steps throughout the day. And if they're low, just go out for another little walk. And basically by the end of the day, you want to hit 8,000 steps. Once that feels easy, then you can move it up to 10,000 steps. And once that feels easy, then 12,000 steps. And if you did 12,000 steps on a regular basis daily, plus 2 strength training workouts, like we said,
great shape.
That is a great pro health, pro muscle, going to get leaner, feel good type of routine. Now let's get to diet. I'm going to give some very basic suggestions for diet. And these are, by the way, these are basic suggestions that have a high ROI, return on investment. There's lots of different things you can do with your diet, but we like to give advice on the ones that tend to move the needle the most, that are also the most simple. And I'm going to generalize here. Women, I want you to aim for about 30 grams of protein per meal. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner, 30 grams of protein. For men, 45 grams of protein. Now here's the kicker. Eat it first. Whatever your plate looks like, here's your 30 grams or 45 grams of protein. Eat that first. That has the highest satiety effect, so it tends to naturally make you want to eat less. It also it is really good for insulin sensitivity. It helps stabilize blood sugar, which makes you feel better. It also helps with fat burning. So do that first. Second on the plate are vegetables. Eat that second. And then finally, you can have your starches or your fruit. All right, here's the best part of all this. Eat until you're satisfied. I'm not going to tell you to eat less. Yeah. If you just do this and you stick to whole natural foods, you will see yourself get leaner in a nice consistent basis. So 30 grams or 45 grams of protein first. You have your vegetables next. and then eat your starch or your fruit, eat till you're satisfied. If that's what your meals look like with no processed foods, you're going to crush. You're going to get great results.
And I'd like to add to this because what's really common, you get somebody doing good strength exercise like this, moving more like this, the appetite will kick up. And I actually want to feed you. I want you to eat. So if let's say you're eating 3 meals, you're adhering exactly what Sal says, and you're like, man, I'm still hungry. Have another meal. Just like same format too. Have another meal, eat it with 45 if you're men, grams of protein, eat it first. Women 30, and because you're still landing at 3 meals for women, 90 grams of protein. For men, only about 130 grams or 135 grams of protein. That's still on the lower end of protein. We can still afford another high protein.
Another meal.
Another meal. So, and that's how we start here. This is where I want them to start. And then if they come back to me like, Adam, I am hungry. My appetite's, have another meal.
Good.
Have another meal.
Exactly. Muscle.
Good. That's a good sign. That's our metabolism kicking up. And I do not want to restrict from it. I want to feed it and I want to give it another meal. And I want to just, again, stick to those same exact rules all the way through. That's going to serve you really well.
Now,
here.
what you don't do is aim for processed foods in this case. Notice I'm talking about whole natural foods. But again, if you just do this, you're going to see yourself get leaner and build muscle at the same time. All right, now we're going to talk about sleep. Sleep is very important. Turn off your electronics an hour before bed. And again, I'm going to preface this. We're going to talk about the things that make the biggest difference, okay? Give yourself a 9-hour window every night. So go to bed and then wake up, and that should be 9 hours. And the reason why it's 9 hours is that helps guarantee about 7.5 to 8 hours, right? We don't go to sleep right when you hit the pillow. So 9 hours every single night. And here are the 2 supplements, the 2 things you could take before going to bed that studies have shown to have the biggest impact on improving sleep quality that are also not narcotics or not hormones, okay? You take about 3 grams of glycine, this is an amino acid, and then have some magnesium before bed. That combination, for many people, improves the quality of their sleep. Now, since we're talking about supplements, here are the supplements that make the biggest difference for many people, but especially people in this age group. A multivitamin, about 2,000 IUs of vitamin D plus K. So if you buy a vitamin D supplement, you'll get the one that includes vitamin K. They're both needed to be used appropriately or to be effectively. And then creatine. Creatine is the longevity supplement. It has profound effects on muscle, longevity, health, and cognitive function. Aim for 5 to 10 grams a day. 10 grams better for the brain, 5 grams just for muscle. If you do 10 grams a day, divide the doses up throughout the day. 10 grams all at once tends to cause stomach distress. So what it would look like would be I'd have 3 grams with breakfast, 3 grams with lunch, 3 grams with dinner, and that's not going to bother your stomach. And creatine, again, a great it's actually the longevity supplement for health and for muscle building, and it'll help indirectly with fat loss.
And I want to add to this advice goes for anybody, whether you were a ex-athlete, used to be in great shape. If you are just getting back on your routine and you are in your 50s, start here, no matter what. No matter how advanced of a level you think you were before, because I can't tell you how many 50-year-old clients that hired me that were old athletes, were really jacked before. And so when I would train them like this, it's not enough.
No, it's enough.
I can do more. We could do this. Why aren't we doing this is all you need to do. This is all you need to do, and watch how far this takes, especially for the first 6 months. The first 6 months, this will take you so far. And really the thing you want to focus on is consistency. Can I check all the boxes that we just said day in and day out, and how many of those days can I string in a row? That in itself is difficult. That in itself is difficult. And so if you find yourself with extra time and you're wanting to do more workouts, spend more time planning the other things to make sure you're successful. If you are really, really good about doing workouts, you want to do more of them, but then you're a little inconsistent with the diet, well, then maybe take that extra time and plan your meals out so you hit your meals on time. Or maybe you take that time to get to bed earlier and get better sleep. So try to check all those boxes, be consistent with that, and watch what happens in the next 6 months.
The last thing I'll add is the right dose is the best dose. Again, just to add to what Adam said, doing more will not get you faster results. Doing more will get you slower results, will actually compromise your body's ability to adapt. Adapt meaning build muscle, improve stamina and endurance, and burn body fat. All right, I know you liked that episode. If you did, check this one out. Walking, it's one of the best things you could do for your health, bar none, but there's a better way to approach it. Yes, you can just walk, but if you follow the right protocol, it's far more effective. Let's talk about walking.
I can't wait to hear your walking protocol.
Well, there is. Well, there is a protocol. So, and I'll start with the first thing, right? Because just first off, let me start with this. One of the reasons why walking is such a great form of just activity is because it's low risk of injury. Now, some